Hello and welcome to the Creative Mindset Podcast. My name is Isolde Trachtenberg, and today I want to talk to you about getting the job of your dreams. The other day I got an email from a fan who wanted to know how I got my NASA job. If you don't know, I spent about 20 years being a master trainer for NASA, traveling all over the world, teaching environmental education and communication to everybody from preschoolers all the way through to diplomats working at the various embassies. So I lived I lived that particular dream for everything it was worth. It was incredible. It was an incredible opportunity, and I loved it. And yet, I was not an environmental science major. I wasn't even a science major. I was an English major in college at the University of Michigan. And so somebody wanted to know, how did you get into it? How did you break into the field? And I wanted to give you the answer, because the question was, how do you break into a new field if you didn't major in your dream field? What do you have to do? And more importantly, what if you don't have the money to go back to school and major in it? To be fair, if it's something like a doctor or a lawyer, then you probably can't just go become a lawyer, because there are requirements on getting certified to do the thing that you want to do. Even in education, to be a teacher, you can work, for example, in a Montessori school or private schools, which sometimes don't require a specific degree or state certification. But if you want to be a public school teacher, you're going to have some sort of degree, probably, depending on where you are, and some sort of certification that says that you have gone through their training process or through a training process and are now employable as a teacher in that state or school district. Or you can do what I did via NASA. One of the questions that this person asked was, how did you get experience? How did you get in order to be able to do that work? Well, I didn't just jump into the environmental education field. I did it through working at various places on my way to NASA, and a couple of different communication techniques really helped me out on that. And let me explain. So first, I started getting my work experience in the environmental field by working at the National Geographic Society and then at NASA. So while I was an English major, I applied for my job at the National Geographic as an administrative assistant. And that's the work I was doing. But they realized pretty quickly that I had a more technological bent and that I had a fair amount of science under my belt. And I was relentless in talking to anyone and everyone about what they were doing. And I offered to help in any way that I could. After hours if I needed to. Absolutely. If they were working on a project, whatever kind of project they were working on, that it was something that I wanted to be part of, I offered my help. And first, it was as a volunteer. First, I would do whatever it is they needed me to do. If I needed to stay late, it didn't matter, because I was working on projects that were closer to what I wanted to be doing. And whatever they needed, I did. If it was to make coffee runs, I made coffee runs. That part didn't matter. What mattered was that I was beginning to interact with the people who were doing the things that I wanted to be doing. And after a while, when they realized that I was an asset to what they were trying to achieve, they actually started putting money into my time at the Geographic as an admin, sort of taking the time away from being an administrative assistant and more into doing the education work and the technical writing and things like that. So through that, I ended up working on environmental education products at the Geographic. And then when I went to NASA from the Geographic, I now had all of this experience having worked at the National Geographic Society. And then I went to NASA, and I did not start in environmental education at NASA. I worked in the Earth Sciences Division for sure, but I wasn't working on environmental science or environmental education, which I ended up doing at NASA for many years. Instead, I came on board as a tech support person, and I was doing technical support for all of these scientists and engineers who were working on incredible, amazing projects. And I talked to all of them and offered my help again. One particular person, Dr. Elisa Levine, who is one of the coolest humans on the planet, I have to say, really amazing person, was a soil scientist. And I said to her one day when I was fixing her computer for something or upgrading or something, I said, hey, I want you to know I adore what you're doing. And if you ever have any project that I could be a part of in any way, sign me up. I don't care what it is. I would love to work with you. And she turned around and said, well, actually, I just got this grant to be part of something called the GLOBE program. The GLOBE program was envisioned by Al Gore in his book, Earth in the Balance. And GLOBE stands for, it's an acronym, and it stands for Global Learning and Observations to Benefit the Environment. And she said, I just became the principal investigating scientist for the soil characterization part of it. How would you like to work on that with me? And I said, sign me up. So I ended up working with her on this particular scientific investigation to develop the environmental education portion for soils at the GLOBE program. And I ended up developing the website and also developed the training methodology, worked on how to teach these protocols. Now, you know, if you look at air and water, people recognize air and water as something that's out there and that perhaps we need to have clean air to breathe or clean water to drink. But often they don't think that we need good quality soil, arable soil, fertile soil, in order to grow all of the food on the entire planet. And so we had the job of sort of changing the mindset about soil. Most people think of soil as it's dirt. And of course, to me, dirt is a 4-letter word. But yes, I know soil is too, but bear with me. But dirt has this connotation of being gross and disgusting, whereas soil, if you look at what all the many incredible things the soil does, soil cleans our water, for example. It's a water filter. It's also a carbon sink. In other words, the soil holds a lot of the carbon dioxide that would otherwise be in the atmosphere. And I know I'm geeking out at you, but it's really all true. So the big thing, of course, the soil does for us is that it grows all the food to feed all 7+ billion people on the planet. And I don't even know if we've crossed over to 8 billion yet, but we are many. And the soil, which is very small relative to the rest of the size of the earth, has to grow all the food to feed everybody. So we had to change the marketing, if you will, for soil. We had to make soil be exciting. And it already is exciting, but the people we were teaching, the people we were trying to reach didn't know that. So that was part of what I did is I figured out how to bring out the exciting parts of soil. And that's exactly what I did. And I started it all by talking to everyone about what they were doing and reaching out and getting curious about the work that was going on. So it wasn't just my little corner of, oh, I have a computer to fix, let me go fix it. It was reaching out and connecting to the scientists that were working in this particular division at NASA at Goddard Space Flight Center. So when you're trying to find something, that's the way to start. Talk to people, get out there, find out who's doing the work that you would love to be doing and help them. Figure out how you can help them. If that means you volunteer, by gum, that is what you do. And you can also, if you are desperate to work in a particular field, offer yourself up as a free intern. Work a job evenings and weekends, but offer yourself up. You know, I started a lot of the things that I've done as a volunteer. So you can start to volunteer and do that. You can do informational interviews with people who are already in the field. Find out what they need, and then if it's in your skill set, give it to them, right? That's the way to do it. Get people to understand that you are willing and able and excited to work with them and for them and in the field and be knowledgeable about what you're trying to do and what the field is, and also really relate to them your willingness to learn, your willingness to be right there in the ditches and being part of it in a way that will be helpful to them and bring the entire thing forward and elevate it. And also, you can start getting on social media. Post, for example, if you wanted a job in the field of environmental education or the environment somehow, post things that are environmentally oriented that you do. You can contact people in the field. You can PM them or DM them via Instagram or Facebook and offer them something of value, something that you can do or offer that will enrich their lives. A video that you make about the environment, post that, or how you might educate about climate change or other environmental issues, or just educate people. Make videos that educate people about the issues that you want to work on. You don't want to just sit back and wait for things to come to you. They won't. Start a podcast, listen to podcasts, see if you can get on podcasts and talk about your vision of things. Get your name out there so that people start recognizing that you are someone who is contributing valuable content, valuable information, and valuable help to the field, to the people in the field, so that everyone can make progress. That's so important. You need to spread the word about what it is that you want to do, and you need to be out there doing it, offering valuable insight and valuable content and valuable help. And then, of course, ask your friends. Who do they know who is already in the field who might be able to help with information or introductions to others? Always, 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 when you talk to someone, ask for referrals. Super important. Ask for someone that you could also speak to. And the best way to do that is, thank you so much. And I'm wondering, do you know of anybody else who might be willing to speak with me about this? And chances are they're going to say, yes, I do, because if they're in the field, they know people in the field. And even if they can't help you themselves, if you have provided value to them, if you have been valuable and offered your help and your insight and your expertise and your enthusiasm to work with them and to help them make progress, chances are they're going to want to help you make progress as well. And that's how it's done. There is no miracle pill. There's nothing that's going to get you in your field exactly what you want to do without doing either the schooling and education that will get you into that field, or working honestly as a volunteer, working your patootie off to get in there, to help, to be part of the process, so that people start seeing that you are someone who is interested in helping, in being a part of things, and offer to help as much as possible. And you'll see that you will get the kind of help you want in return. And if that means getting the job of your dreams, more the better. Alrighty, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. And this is Isolde Trachtenberg for the Creative Mindset Podcast. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your week and have an incredible day. There are so many issues in the world that I could be talking about right now that would probably not be productive. So I'm focusing on the things that I know that will be productive to elevate kindness, to elevate human interaction and understanding, and to elevate our creative contributions to tolerance and diversity and art and unity and helping each other shine. Until next time, I send you all of my love. And if you know someone who needs to listen to this, if they're struggling with getting the ideal job or working or living that particular dream, share this episode with them. Let them know about it so that perhaps they can make progress as well. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. Please subscribe to the podcast if you're new, and please tell your friends about the community we're building here. Today's episode was produced by Isolde Trachtenberg and is copyright Isolde Trachtenberg 2019. Today's music was from Kevin MacLeod, Laser Groove, and Ave Marimba, brought to you by Creative Commons License 3.0. As always, please remember this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Past performance does not guarantee future results, although we can always hope. Until next time, I send you all of my love.